how do you know if you're ready to rebrand in 2024?
I don't know that.
I've discovered one big difference between firms who launch successful rebrands and those who give up somewhere along the way.
Game over, man. It's game over.
So what's the difference? Let's find out. Look, rebranding is a massive undertaking. It can be stressful, expensive, and time-consuming, and it isn't something most firms should even consider doing in 2024.
What did he say?
But smart AEC marketers and firm leaders know if you get it right, a successful rebrand can deliver incredible value to you, your firm, and your stakeholders, and create a lasting legacy for years to come.
One day, lad, all this will be yours.
What, the curtain?
But how do you know if you're ready to rebrand in 2024? There are 4 powerful drivers that will all but guarantee your firm will make it through the rebranding process.
Guarantee.
And knowing which one of those is true about your firm will help reassure your team that you're ready to get started.
Titans, go!
Now, if your firm doesn't have one of these, then I'd say you probably shouldn't even attempt to rebrand this year. But before we jump into those 4 factors, why do you think that even when leaders understand how valuable a new brand can be, so many firms cut corners, stall out mid-process, or give up altogether?
I quit!
Ironically, this one thing is both a branding process killer and a magical guidepost that lets you know you're on the right path.
Follow the yellow brick road.
That one thing is fear. Of course, the dark side of fear requires no explanation at all.
Fear is the path to the dark side.
Doing things differently than you have historically, looking and sounding different from your peers, or making big changes to how your firm has marketed itself in the past
And now for something completely different.
can be terrifying, and rightly so. Doing things differently, by definition, means you can't guarantee what the outcome is going to be. And if you can't guarantee success, then who really wants to move forward with such a risky proposition?
I also like to live dangerously.
And yet, that little voice of fear might be your best friend during a rebrand. If you're going to invest the time, energy, and resources to rebrand, and you end up with something that feels safe and familiar, did you actually rebrand, or did you just clean up your look and feel a little bit? Just a little baby brand refresh.
Really?
That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just probably not going to be very impactful over time. We all get it. Your brand, and therefore your rebrand, is far more extensive than just a new logo. It's about changing how you're perceived in the marketplace, leaning into a niche market, and creating greater visibility for you and your firm. Sure, a new name, brand colors, and new logos are part of many rebranding processes, but designing a new logo is definitely not a requirement. And remember, rebrands that include updates to your look and feel have a distinct, maybe even an unfair advantage. Because we humans are very visual creatures, when we see something has changed, we perceive a difference, and it makes us curious. So when your brand does something visually different, it invites curiosity, which opens doors as an AEC marketer or firm owner to tell the story about what has changed and why. You don't have to do anything visually different at all. However, this is when fear is actually your friend. If after all of that time, effort, and money, you get to the end of the process and you're not at least a little terrified to launch your new brand, you probably didn't push yourself or your firm far enough. Now that would be bad.
Don't cross the streams. Why? It would be bad.
But not as bad as missing any new videos in this series, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single one.
Yes!
So how do you know if you're ready to be brave and do something different? What are the 4 drivers that help firms remain committed and help them stick with the process? And what are the benefits associated with each of them? Let's take a look. Rebranding driver number 4 is the need for differentiation. You're lost in a sea of sameness.
Blah, 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 me, me, blah, 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 me, me, me.
Thank you.
Have you ever been on the shortlist interview and had a client ask you, why should we hire your firm? What makes you different? Like so many other AEC firms, you look the same, you sound the same, you do similar types of work. How are prospective clients supposed to tell you all apart?
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
Fear not, rebranding is a great way to solve this problem. Refine your market position, focus on a niche, and get everyone in your firm on the same page. So the next time you're asked that question, you'll all be singing from the same hymnal. Driver number 3 to rebranding in 2024 is like that aging jar of salsa in the refrigerator. It's not getting any better with age. It's not that you have to be more fashionable or follow each new trend, but the good news and bad news in the AEC industry is that our firms can have a lasting legacy. And sometimes we outgrow our reputation in the market. This is a problem you can totally solve by rebranding. It's all about capturing a particular place in your prospect's mind, and you can't do that well if they have an outdated idea of who you are or what you do or why it matters. As author Donald Miller says in Building a Story Brand, when it comes to marketing, if you confuse, you lose. If driver number 3 sounds like your firm, this is a great opportunity to update your messaging, your brand story, and help your market get to know the real you. There are 2 major drivers of rebrands left to go, and you're not going to want to miss number 1. Up next, and this may seem obvious, but if there are reasons that you want or need to change your name,
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
then driver number 2 is for you. If your firm has a new generation of ownership, has outgrown the name of its founders, or is named for an old specialization, or maybe you simply want a firm name that's more in tune with the market, you may want to change your name. And if you're part of a merger, acquisition, separation, trademark, or other legal issue,
Are being sued for intellectual theft and patent
you
infringement.
may not have a choice. You may have to change your name. Regardless of how you found yourself here, a name change is an ideal situation to retool your brand. A new name will likely mean you'll need a new logo. And like we discussed before, nothing is a better excuse to tell a new story than having a visual trigger like a new logo. Even if you're not excited about a name change, there are so many reasons to get excited about a rebrand. There's one last powerful driver for a rebrand, but before we get there, if you're watching this video about when to rebrand, you're either thinking about hiring someone like me to help you out, or you're considering doing the work in-house. Well, I'm launching an exclusive Branding 101 course to teach you everything I know about rebranding in the AEC industry. If you'd like to see if you're a fit, hit the link in the comments below and schedule a free discovery call. It's not a fit for everyone, so find a time and we'll see if you qualify. Okay, we're on to the number 1 driver for AEC firms to rebrand. It may surprise you, this isn't coming from HR.
Is that enough? Should I keep going?
And that is to win the war for talent. I once had a client who told me the story of a great new employee who loved working for them so much that she referred her best friend to apply to come work with her. But after her friend had a look at the firm's website, she almost bailed on the interview. Was it a bad firm? Not at all. But it was suffering from many of these drivers for rebranding. They looked and sounded like everyone else. Their portfolio, messaging, and photography were all out of date, and their website did a horrible job of demonstrating why someone like her would enjoy working there. Nearly every rebrand I've been a part of over the past 10 years has had a massive focus on attracting and retaining top talent. Sure, new clients are important, but you won't be able to deliver to those clients if you don't have the right team in place. And that requires a brand that the best prospective employees are excited to get behind. So which one of these drivers sounds the most like your firm? Choosing one of these to guide your rebrand is essential, but you're not done yet, because your next step is to watch this video to learn about this powerful rebranding hack that no firm should ignore. See you over there.